In a vivid and stark illustration of the ongoing internal strife within the ranks of the Wagner Group, a video began circulating earlier this week that displayed an alarming scene. In this disturbing footage, which has been the subject of analysis and commentary in the latest Ukraine war news, an apparent group of Russians from the Wagner Group were seen savagely beating a man believed to be their officer with shovels. In what appeared to be a routine medical evacuation by Wagner troops of a wounded officer, the scene quickly took a sinister and bizarre twist. When the group believed they were safely out of sight, they can be seen beating the wounded man with what appear to be shovels. Its resonance echoes beyond the immediate brutality and into the very heart of the disquiet within the mercenary unit. Not only does it show a shocking level of insubordination, but it also exposes a deep and dangerous power vacuum within the group. What would cause such violent insubordination? How does this reflect upon the morale and cohesion of the troops on the front lines of the war in Ukraine? Putin's initial reliance on such groups in advancing his military objectives is now being questioned, as the internal dynamics of these forces are laid bare for the world to see. The atmosphere of discontent and upheaval within the Wagner Group is being scrutinized as the world observes the brutal reality of this war, far removed from the official narratives. This turmoil, evident in the shocking violence of their ranks, presents a complex and disconcerting puzzle in the broader canvas of the war. Not for the first time in this war, Yevgeny Prigozhin, the leader of the Wagner paramilitary group, announced that his mercenaries had seized control over the remaining shattered blocks of Bakhmut city, a claim that Ukrainian officials quickly contested. This assertion, if validated, signifies a critical juncture in the Russian invasion of Ukraine, with Bakhmut standing as a primary strategic prize. It is noteworthy that for months, Russian forces have consistently labored to cement their grip on the city's heart, underlining the town's strategic significance in the grander scheme of the war. The audacity of Prigozhin's claim has thrown a spotlight on the intensifying battles enveloping Bakhmut. Scrutinizing the Wagner Group's claims, the city's capture, if true, suggests a significant victory in the battle to control the war-torn region. Despite this, the Ukrainian military has since rallied, reclaiming more than 12 square miles of territory north and south of the city, reflecting a shift in the momentum of this battle. The Ukrainian military has underscored their continued gains as evidence that Bakhmut remains contested, defying Wagner Group's assertions. This pushback, if sustained, could undercut the narrative of an inexorable Russian advance, raising critical questions about the overall trajectory of the war in Ukraine. As the battle lines around Bakhmut continue to be drawn and redrawn, the spotlight on this strategic town and the Wagner Group's controversial assertions only grows brighter. Ukrainian officials vehemently dispute the Wagner Group's claims regarding the capture of Bakhmut. In the face of adversity, the Ukrainian forces continue to fight fiercely, asserting that the war in Bakhmut is far from over. Ukraine War News reports suggest that a constellation of brigades is engaging in regular skirmishes around Bakhmut. Reinforcing this narrative, the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade recently announced a further advance of about half a mile, with plans for continued progression. These sustained advances suggest a determined Ukrainian resistance, contradicting the narrative of Bakhmut's full capture by the Russian forces. Ukrainian and British officials underscore that Moscow's deployment of reinforcements around the city, while potentially bolstering Russian positions, could conversely benefit Ukraine by weakening Russian forces elsewhere along the front. As the fight continues, the human cost of the Russian invasion of Ukraine becomes ever more apparent. Colonel Beletsky, commander of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, confirms that dozens of Russians were killed in the last day of the battle alone, with several taken as prisoners. His brigade also suffered losses over these 3 grueling days of fighting. Despite this, Ukrainian fighters remain resolute, stating that Russian losses were far greater than their own. As the dust settles in the aftermath of these bitter engagements, one thing remains clear. The battle for Bakhmut is ongoing, the war is far from over, and both sides are bracing for what lies ahead. In light of these developments, we want to hear your thoughts. How do you think the strategic significance of Bakhmut will shape the future of the war in Ukraine? Please share your views in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this episode of Warzone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.